a dictator who silenced the press, imprisoned dissenters, and buried secrets beneath cold cement. But one winter day in 1989, he would fall. And not just in the shadows, but live on national television. This is the true story of Nicolae Ceaușescu, how one of the world's most feared leaders lost his grip in front of the world. Stay with me, because this video is not only chilling, it's real. The man who couldn't be touched. It's December 1989. The wind bites hard through Bucharest, Romania's capital. The palace square stands cold and gray, but over 50,000 people, some yanked straight from schools and workplaces, are jammed shoulder to shoulder. They're all waiting for one man, Nicolae Ceaușescu. For 24 long years, Ceaușescu had ruled Romania like a steel fist wrapped in silence. He built palaces while the people starved. He let children die in orphanages. He crushed every whisper of dissent. But now, the whispers had become screams. Just days earlier, a spark had ignited. A priest in Timișoara dared to criticize the regime. The government sent soldiers. They opened fire on peaceful protesters, and the blood flowed. But instead of silencing the people, it triggered a revolution, the rally that backfired. Desperate, Ceaușescu called for a mass rally in Bucharest. He thought he could control the crowd, dominate the narrative, prove he still held the reins. The rally was broadcast live across the country. Ceaușescu stepped onto the balcony, waving like a king before his court. And the crowd, it cheered. But only the front rows moved. The rest stood still, frozen. Why? Because the cheers were fake. Pre-recorded applause boomed from hidden speakers, a sound of loyalty, masking fear. Ceaușescu began to speak. At first it worked, but then, a scream. Somewhere deep in the crowd, a voice pierced the illusion. Then another, and another. Down with Ceaușescu! We want freedom! The crowd turned. On camera, Ceaușescu's expression shifted from confident to confused. His wife Elena shouted, "They're entering the building!" Security guards confirmed. Protesters were inside. The TV camera panned awkwardly upward. This was protocol. If something went wrong, film the sky. But it was already too late. The bloody night. The crowd exploded. Barriers fell. The screams of revolution filled Bucharest's air. Ceaușescu tried to calm the chaos. He promised wage increases. He begged for peace. No one listened. Across the city, tanks rolled out. His secret police, the Securitate, were ordered to crush the resistance. They fired on unarmed citizens. Snipers took position on rooftops. The streets turned red. By morning, so many had died that water cannons had to wash away the blood. Ceaușescu thought it was over. He told Elena, "It's done. We stopped it." He was wrong. Shadows moved through the alleyways, whispering of vengeance. Young rebels, their eyes hollow from grief, vowed to fight to the end. A priest hid wounded protesters inside his church, risking his life. Screams echoed from the university district, where students refused to back down. An old woman waved a torn flag with a hole where the communist crest had been. Fathers searched for their sons in the bloodied morgues. The Securitate began to fear the people more than they feared Ceaușescu. The revolution was not over. It was just beginning. And this time, the people would not be silenced. This time, the dictator would fall. The turning point. The revolution only grew. Workers flooded the streets, marching, chanting, refusing to be silenced. Then something unexpected happened. The soldiers stopped shooting. Many even joined the protesters. Ceaușescu was stunned. His army was now against him. At Communist Party headquarters, Ceaușescu gathered the last of his loyalists. He ordered a helicopter to the rooftop. The protesters were minutes away. The dictator and his wife were carried aboard by bodyguards, their faces pale. They escaped, just in time, a fugitive in his own country. The chopper raced north, blades slicing the cold December air, heading toward Ceaușescu's lavish estate in Snagov. Inside, Nicolae Ceaușescu sat stiffly, his hands trembling, not from age, but from fear. At the villa, he scrambled to the phone, barking orders to generals, demanding loyalty, commanding reinforcements. But the line stayed cold. No one answered. No help was coming. The pilot returned, his face pale. "We're alone, sir." Elena's voice cracked with disbelief. "They've abandoned us." The dictator, who once ruled with an iron fist, was now grasping at shadows. They took off again, fleeing deeper into rural Romania, toward Titu, hoping some military garrison would shelter them. Then a crackling sound over the helicopter's radio. A cold, merciless voice came through.
All flights are grounded. Any unidentified aircraft will be shot down.
Ceaușescu's eyes widened. They'll shoot us out of the sky. Panic gripped the cabin. The pilot veered off course. They descended fast, engines screaming, until they touched down in an open field outside Târgoviște, a quiet farming town with no reinforcements, no soldiers, no safety. Dirt kicked up around the chopper as it landed. There was no fanfare, no welcoming committee, just wind and silence. The Ceaușescus stepped onto the cold ground, flanked only by 2 loyal bodyguards, men who now looked more confused than committed. Their tailored coats were caked in mud. Their shoes sank into the frozen soil. At that moment, the president of Romania was no longer in control. He was hunted, exposed, alone. Children in the nearby village whispered that the devil had landed. Old farmers watched from afar. Some villagers thought of reporting the fugitive couple. Others feared what would happen if they did. With no official protection and no destination, Ceaușescu wandered like a ghost in his own land. A leader turned into a liability. A ruler turned refugee. The walls of power had finally collapsed, and he had no place left to hide. The walls close in. A bicycle mechanic stopped to help, unknowing who the couple was. He drove them into town, but the radio gave it away. News of the dictator's fall blared. The mechanic suggested a place to hide, an agricultural institute. The director recognized them instantly and locked them in a room, then called the police. Outside, word spread fast. Locals began to gather, whispers turning to shouts. Soldiers arrived and formed a perimeter. The Ceaușescus heard the roar of the angry crowd outside. Within hours, Nicolae and Elena Ceaușescu were arrested, and the fall of the regime was complete. The trial. They were taken to a military barracks in Târgoviște. No fancy court, no lawyers, just a hastily arranged military tribunal. The charges: genocide, crippling the economy, fleeing with billions in foreign accounts. Ceaușescu laughed at the accusations. He called the court illegal. He refused to recognize it. The court found them both guilty. The sentence: death by firing squad, effective immediately, final moments. Nicolae and Elena begged not to be tied up. "We will not run," they said. But the guards tied their hands anyway. As they were led into the freezing courtyard, Elena screamed in rage. Others say she cried. Nicolae remained strangely calm. He sang a line from the Internationale, the anthem of communist workers, his last act of defiance. Then, against a wall at the back of the barracks, they were executed. 25 bullets tore through them, broadcast to the world. The very next day, Romanian television aired footage of their lifeless bodies, proof that the nightmare was over, proof that no dictator is untouchable. Aftermath and leg. By May 1990, Romania held its first free elections since 1937. It joined NATO, entered the European Union, and started a long, painful journey of rebuilding. The memory of Ceaușescu's fall remains powerful, and for a moment it was so unbelievable, it had to be shown live for the world to believe it. What happened in Romania in 1989 is a haunting reminder of just how fast absolute power can fall, and how silence, once broken, becomes impossible to contain. If this story moved you, shocked you, or left you thinking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more untold history, chilling events, and forgotten truths coming your way. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, stay human.